In the early years of student ministry in Kenya, the Graduates Fellowship, or what would later become Associates Ministry, existed primarily to meet the needs of the associates. However, over the years, as many graduates continue to join the ministry, associates have been involved in many ways. God in His way keeps raising individual associates committed to Focus Vision as a student ministry.
Students ministry is something that is at the center of our hearts as a family, and one of the things that brought us together is our interest in the students ministry, and that is one thing that we know that we always look up to. If there is anything that we can give up everything else to support and to be there, is actually students ministry. You realize that when you minister to a student, you are actually by extension ministering to many other people outside there. You'll mentor a student in Marsabit, you minister to another one in Garissa, from Garissa. So when they go back home, you're sure that that gospel continues. We enjoy students ministry, we enjoy having time with the students, and we allow them to our houses so that they can also learn how we live, that we are not we do not pretend outside there. This is how we live, and this is us, so they learn even from our lives.
For me, ministry is in my work. When I teach, sometimes I use examples from the Bible, and just one incident that occurred of a student that is now in third year. After teaching survey, he came to me one day and told me he wants to get saved. And I asked him whether he's serious. And he told me, yes, I'm serious. So I asked him, do you understand what salvation is? He told me, from the way you've been teaching, and I know that you're a Christian, I want you to pray with me. I want to become a Christian. And he's standing up to now. That time he was a first year. So for me, my ministry is in everything that I do. When I'm teaching the students in Maseno, when I'm serving them as a CU patron, and when I even interact with some who may not be Christians.
Like for me, when my first daughter was around 1, I began being involved, especially preachings. I have done Egerton Town Campus, Medical School, KMTC, Njoro. Yeah, but of late, the Egerton Faculty of Health Sciences have become very close. I've even invited them here to our house, and I think I speak there almost every semester.
I think my calling, my line of calling is with the student, and this is what the Lord has used to bless me. If you come to my house at any given time, you don't miss a student in my house, the one I am taking care of. Either one or two. When this one goes, I'll always get one, particularly the ones that are needy, those ones that have issues paying rent or get fees. Once I see that there is a needy case here and they are very committed in the Christian Union, they are serving. Some of them end up serving as members of the exec or in the subcoms, or just serving God faithfully in the Christian Union, and they have needs. I've always invited, please come and stay with us.
Quite often we open just space, campus staff, they come over, we just talk together, or sometimes we even offer them space and we let them have that free space, utilize every facility that is here, talking throughout the night, making their breakfast in the morning. So we believe that that form of service that we are offering is also a different level of ministry, where it's beyond the monetary value. So giving them space so that they can feel comfortable, especially those who are in courtship. So sometimes they have sleepovers with their fiancés, and we get to interact with them at that level. So them observing how we even live, how we act together, how we respond to each other, we believe also is a form of mentorship that those who are growing can actually learn from it. Also our exec team in the Christian unions getting a chance to even come over and do the executive meeting here. We believe it's giving them that different setting might create a different atmosphere that can enhance even very interactive and positive learning.
When I have to give towards the ministry, I know I'm giving because the Lord has commissioned me to do that. And that is what He wants of me. So I'm not wrestling in my heart with, probably the Lord wants me to open a church. That for me is fully settled. Because I also know that God's call and His gifts, they are irrevocable. If He has called me to reach out from the marketplace, I am 100% sure that He's not going to revoke that. So I'm in the business world with my both feet.
I could say when he's in both feet in business, mimi ndasema nini?
You will say it's only a matter of time before you get into full-time.
It is through the giving of associates and their involvement in ministry that has nurtured students and staff into agents of transformation who are changing nations in different ways.
There are people we depend on. Sometimes we have maybe invited speakers, but they have not turned up. And so once you reach out to them, they are going to do everything in their capacity.
I think it gives you friends for life and people who are a bit older than, all of them are older than me, and they can give you even advice, not just about CU stuff, but life in general.
They have been coming on Monday and Wednesday. They teach us on how to grow spiritually. They teach us on how even to socialize with others and even to live well and to cope with the campus life.
They help us and they train us on how to lead people, how to associate with these guys, and how to make sure that we are relating well also with the management of this institution.
When I've been around them, at least they have been helping in molding my discipline in Christ.
As we celebrate 50 years, we appreciate Focus Associates for their selfless giving in the ministry. The universities and colleges have continually increased and subsequently enlarged the fields and the readiness for the harvest. We still need more workers who will be counted in the next phase of Focus Ministry.
Ministry is about handing over the baton. Okay? It is, there are people that invested in me. I have shared a case of Nasuma. I have mentioned Professor Kiapi and Dr. Kiapi. You know, those are people. There are people like Jage, people like Wangombe, Reverend Wangombe, David Muturi. Think about all those Focus guys that had a lot of impact in our lives. They handed over the baton to someone else. I happen to be one of them. Whether they did it physically or just naturally because they are out of the space. So I believe, therefore, by continuously ministering as a person, I am also developing the next generation. So that when I will no longer be the one ministering, there will be somebody ministering to another generation.
Student ministry is already a prime land that is just waiting for somebody to come and sow something on it. And for sure, it is not going to be in vain. So I would encourage any person who is a graduate to join a Focus Associates group, and so that they can continue ministering to the students.
You can join us today by visiting www.focuskenya.org/plugin and choose your preferred way of involvement. Celebrating 50 years of changing nations.